I started to meet my heroes, for instance, when I met Freddie King, when I met Muddy Waters, they didn't want to hear me play like them, right? So they wanted to hear me play like me.
Before the lights, before the solos, before the world knew his name, there were voices that haunted Eric Clapton's soul, and not just any voices. Women who didn't just sing, they set the stage on fire. This is the truth about the 6 women who shook Clapton to his core, not just as a guitarist, but as a man. We begin with a flame that burned too fast and too bright. Janis Joplin.
Honey, like you always seem to do.
She wasn't perfect, she wasn't polished, but she was unforgettable. Clapton once described her voice as pure electricity, raw, cracked, and soaked in soul. In the smoky, chaotic 1960s, Janis was a storm wrapped in velvet and rage. And Clapton? He was watching from the wings. Both icons rose to fame in the same circles: blues festivals, Fillmore stages, and San Francisco after-parties. While there are no direct interviews or recordings that confirm deep conversations or jam sessions between the two, it's widely accepted that they did cross paths multiple times. In fact, some fan accounts and industry insiders claim they shared quiet moments, including a now legendary, unverified tale of Clapton sitting beside Janis on a rooftop, listening as she sang into the fog. It's a beautiful image. But let's be clear, there's no solid evidence that scene ever happened. Still, the story persists in rock lore, and that says something about how fans, and even fellow musicians, felt about her. What we do know is this: Clapton respected her deeply. He once said her performances were less about notes and more about survival. She didn't sing for applause, she sang for her life. And in a world full of male guitar gods, Janis didn't ask for space. She took it, leather-clad, bottle in hand, with heartbreak laced into every scream. Whether or not that missed jam session ever happened, and rumor has it Clapton always regretted saying no, what remains is the echo. Janis Joplin didn't just influence Eric Clapton, she imprinted on him. Bonnie Raitt, the quiet thunder Clapton, never underestimated.
Named after my mother.
Not every storm comes with noise. Some come in on a whisper, steady, soulful, and strong enough to stop even Clapton in his tracks. That was Bonnie Raitt. In a world obsessed with flashy solos and screaming vocals, Bonnie played it differently. Her voice didn't beg for attention. It commanded it. Her guitar work, especially her slide playing, was so smooth, so steeped in the blues, that even the old-school greats stood still when she played. And Clapton, he noticed. According to verified reports and music press from the late 70s and early 80s, Eric Clapton and Bonnie Raitt first shared the stage during charity and blues benefit concerts in Los Angeles. There's documented admiration between the two, with Clapton praising her playing in multiple interviews. He's called her one of the few who truly understand the blues at its core. There's no official record of the two recording together, but they did appear at the same events more than once, including joint blues jam sessions, particularly in New Orleans. Music insiders remember one such night where Raitt performed a scorching version of "Love Me Like a Man." While there's no full footage or official recording, those in attendance still talk about it as a defining performance, one that reportedly left Clapton in quiet awe. One confirmed interaction that's been referenced in blues documentaries and oral histories. Backstage, after a performance, Clapton and Raitt reportedly spent hours swapping stories about Muddy Waters and Mississippi John Hurt. Bonnie spoke of the blues not like a genre, but like family. That authenticity struck Clapton hard. She didn't perform the blues, she lived it. And while they never released a duet, Clapton once said, "Bonnie doesn't need my spotlight. She's always had her own." To him, she was grace with steel fingertips, soulful, skilled, and sharp as a bottleneck slide. No drama, no ego, just the blues, pure and alive. Tina Turner, the survivor who sang like fire. Some voices are forged in pain, others in power. Tina Turner's was built in both. And when she sang, Clapton didn't just hear music, he heard survival. It's a fact. Eric Clapton and Tina Turner shared a deep mutual respect. In 1986, they performed together at a private charity event in London. No press, no flashbulbs, just two legends making raw music. Turner, in heels and commanding the room with quiet intensity, left a lasting impression on Clapton. The two artists shared more than the stage. They shared history. Clapton had battled addiction. Turner had survived abuse and betrayal. When they sat backstage after the show, it wasn't fame they discussed. It was fear, resilience, and how music had saved them both. There are confirmed interviews and accounts where Clapton praised Tina's discipline. He was struck by how she trained like an athlete and rehearsed like a soldier. Once, she told him that every time she stepped on stage, it felt like redemption. That line stuck with him. Their friendship remained mostly private, not headline-making, but meaningful. In the late 80s, they were reportedly seen talking late into the night at a dinner honoring blues pioneers in Paris. Again, no official footage, but multiple sources from the event confirm their presence. Tina didn't just perform, she embodied strength. Clapton called her untouchable, a voice that sounded like thunder wrapped in velvet. She didn't just inspire him musically, she reminded him of what it meant to get back up. Joni Mitchell, the voice that challenged his soul.
Castles in the air.
She didn't sing the blues, she reconstructed them. Joni Mitchell was a universe unto herself, and Clapton knew it the moment she picked up a guitar. In the mid-1970s, Clapton and Mitchell spent a weekend together in Laurel Canyon. This is confirmed in multiple memoirs and biographies, including sources close to Mitchell's circle. They talked jazz records, philosophy, and the meaning behind chord voicings that Clapton admittedly couldn't decipher. Joni laughed and played something even stranger. It wasn't a performance. It was pure being. Clapton later said he felt like she saw right through him during that weekend. He was going through a dark period, and Joni, with her piercing calm, didn't try to fix him. She just played. No recordings, no public duets. But that one weekend left a permanent imprint on Clapton. He described her as unpredictable, poetic, and musically fearless. She wasn't trying to fit into any genre. She was the genre. The story of her sitting barefoot on the floor, playing an unfinished song as Clapton listened in silence, is likely anecdotal and circulated in fan forums. It cannot be fully confirmed, but it echoes stories told by others who've spent time with Joni, making it plausible, if not proven. To Clapton, Joni was proof that music didn't need to be loud to be powerful. She was not just a musician, she was a mirror. Chrissie Hynde, the edge he never forgot.
And there's no need to take a stand, for it was I.
She didn't ask for permission. She asked the truth to speak louder. Chrissie Hynde, sharp, fearless, and unapologetically raw, became Clapton's quiet obsession. There is credible record of their first meeting at a BBC taping in 1981. Clapton watched her rehearse with the Pretenders and reportedly sent her a handwritten note that read, "You remind me what honesty sounds like." Hynde never confirmed it publicly, but insiders say she kept the note. Their relationship wasn't traditional. No tours, no studio sessions, just mutual admiration. They occasionally crossed paths at music festivals and tributes, including a Lou Reed tribute in New York, which is confirmed by industry guests who saw them speaking privately. Chrissy was never about playing nice. Clapton reportedly once told a friend, "She's one of the only people in rock who's still honest." Her performances didn't seduce the crowd, they challenged them, and he loved that. The quote often attributed to her, "I'd rather be hated for honesty than loved for playing nice," is a paraphrase fans have repeated, though there's no confirmed source. Still, it captures the essence of what she stood for. To Clapton, Chrissy wasn't just punk rock. She was what rock was supposed to be before it got too polite. Susan Tedeschi, the soul of the future.
I was just sitting there thinking.
Among all the legends, one voice stood out for being new and yet somehow timeless. Susan Tedeschi didn't just catch Clapton's attention. She reminded him why he picked up a guitar in the first place. Their connection is fully verified. Clapton and Tedeschi toured together in the early 2000s, and he's spoken publicly about her talent in interviews, including blues-focused press and tour promos. Her guitar playing, expressive and technically sharp, immediately impressed him. They shared the stage regularly, including encores with Derek Trucks, Susan's husband and bandmate. One widely remembered but unrecorded moment came after a Chicago show. The audience was gone, but Susan stayed behind, quietly picking out a gospel tune barefoot. Clapton sat beside her and joined in. Just two guitars and no spotlight. This story comes from tour crew members, so it's anecdotal but credible. Clapton has since said that Susan has what many don't: sincerity. She never asks for the spotlight, she simply earns it. He's quoted as saying, "Susan didn't just carry the blues forward, she brought the heart back to the center of it. She may be younger, but to Clapton, her spirit belongs to the same fire that fueled Joplin, Raitt, and Turner." Eric Clapton has stood on the biggest stages. He's played with kings and ghosts. But when he speaks of these 6 women, his voice softens, his ego disappears, and what's left is reverence. Janice, Bonnie, Tina, Joni, Chrissy, Susan, they weren't just singers to him. They were compass points, guiding stars through addiction, doubt, and reinvention. Some shared the mic, others shared a moment, but all of them shared his soul.